Welcome to a new special playoff edition of Pan's Picks. The games start today, and we're getting these in just before so you can watch, see what we think about it. We got Bill back from the preseason. Classic NFL picker, Bill. That's what they call you, right? The NFL picker?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's cool. And you can see him this time, which is even more exciting. And today we're going to start with the AFC. So what do you think? Bottom to top or top to bottom? What do you want to do here?
Let's go top to bottom.
All right, so we'll start with Buffalo and Miami. This game is insanely... It couldn't have been a better... I mean, as some people put it, better than a bye, right? For Buffalo, this is a great situation for them. They're 13.5-point favorites. Is that the same that you have?
Still is. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
The over under is 43.5.
That's kind of funny. So they're looking at it like Bills are going to score like 24 or like 28 points, and then Miami's going to score like 9 or something like that, or like 12, 13. That's kind of how it balances out, right? That's an interesting idea. Buffalo. I mean, we know that they're. I mean, neither of us are even going to come close to picking Miami for this. That's absolutely. I think we all come to agreement. But I guess just for the sake of it, what can Miami do to possibly make this game something they could win? In your idea?
Yeah, I mean, they have so many injuries across the board that there's no shot. If they were all healthy, it might be a different situation where Buffalo's still favored, but by not as much. I mean, really, I would say it's great for Miami, the players in the locker room, to come out and actually get some playoff experience. I think that with the AFC East, Patriots aren't what they used to be anymore. Buffalo will still continue to lead this division, but it gives opportunity for Miami to sneak into wild cards for the next couple of years. So I think this is good for them, but they're not going to stick around in this game. Maybe run Hill and Waddle and a little wildcat experiment, throw out some random plays, have some fun with it. But they don't have a shot.
That's exactly what I would say. Just throw the whole playbook out on the table, and just whatever it takes. Dual kick returners where they throw the ball back and forth to each other. I mean, I don't know. Pitchbacks, double reverses. You have two of the fastest receivers in the league. That's the best you could hope for, reasonably, is just like shock touchdowns and then aggression on defense and just hoping that Allen doesn't hit you over the top. Like maybe the Bills will come in with a conservative play calling, with conservative play calling and conservative game plan to be like, all right, let's just win this game. Or they're going to come out like they did last year's wild card game where you're like, okay, they're better than the Patriots, but the Patriots won in that win game, and then they scored 7 touchdowns in a row. So maybe they're just going to do that because you don't really know. I mean, and that's the other thing. Anyone who says like, oh, maybe, like, what could they do? The Bills will probably score. Like, it's not like Miami has a great defense. If they were coming in with the Jets defense, you could be like, they could level this game. But the Dolphins, with the amount of injuries that they have, especially on offense, and not just at key positions, but like all over the field, running back and some linemen and everything, the offense is almost definitely not going to get off the ground, and they got to hope for quick strikes and surprise touchdowns. But even that, the defense... It would be surprising if the defense held Buffalo to less than 24 points. So with that being the case, it's like you're going to get 4 surprise quick strike touchdowns. Like you're gonna get 3 kick returns and a pick 6, or like 2 blown coverages. That's the type of thing that Miami has to look for, because Buffalo's not going to only give up. Is not only going to score 17. They're going to score probably 30. Because that's what they do. I saw something that this season, Miami is average giving up over 30 points a game in away games this season. That's bad.
You're taking Buffalo the points, right? Like,
I think so.
Cover.
I think so. I mean, the only reason why they wouldn't cover is if they just got up and they got up by 17 or something like that. and they're going into the fourth quarter, and they're up by 17, and they just take everyone out, and Miami gets like a touchdown that puts them within 10.
You think that realistically Buffalo will be benching Allen in the fourth quarter in this game?
We'll see. Because even the games that they blew out teams like the Bears earlier this year, for some reason the Bears were still winning at halftime. And I don't know who you'd take in this game, Miami or Chicago in this situation. But, you know, I think they got to get up earlier, but there's a chance that their offense is just kind of sputtering through the first half because it's been that way for them for the past 7-8 weeks. They haven't really started fast. So if they start slow in this game, they might have to be playing Allen into the fourth quarter and then score 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and win by and still cover the spread, right? Which almost seems likely because that's the way they've been going.
I think they're up 21 at half. I don't think that. I think Miami's going to have a lot of 3 and outs. That's going to give Allen the ball way too much in the first half. And I see them capitalizing in red zone appearances this week. So I would take Buffalo, minus whatever it was, 13.5. And I'd even go over.
You think they're going to? Yeah. I think they're going to score so many points that Ford, like they could cover it by themselves.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I see them scoring 30 points.
If Miami goes for some sort of interesting style that is just like, man, we got to get surprise touchdowns and we got to make Josh Allen make mistakes, that could work. But I think that would just end up causing them to run the score up higher too. And if it doesn't work, Buffalo, like you said, will be up by 21. By half, because if they're trying to be aggressive, run man, and blitz him, and he just hits Diggs or Davis over the top, that can happen 3 times in a row. I mean, it can happen like what happened to the Steelers. They just hit it over the top multiple times, and the game was just over immediately. So Buffalo has that capability, obviously, and his arm's looking good. Everything looked good against the Patriots, so he obviously can still heave it over 60 yards, 70 yards. All right, let's go to the next one. Cincinnati, Baltimore. Is the spread 9 on this one, or 9.5? Is that what
8.5.
8.5
and 40.5 over under.
I'm not surprised about the over under being lower in this case. Baltimore has a good defense. So what Miami doesn't have is a good defense. Baltimore does have a good defense, although they're in a similar offensive situation as Miami, in which their quarterback is injured and they have to go figure it out, right? Baltimore's they're a better team, obviously more experienced coach and better defense, and I think just better overall team outside of I don't know about better overall team outside of Jackson, but better defense, and they can probably run the ball and everything like that. This game, they would have a better chance of playing it really conservative and trying to keep it close. But I think Cincinnati still wins. Maybe doesn't cover, though.
Yeah, I think they still cover. Similar with, I agree with the defenses. They might give Burrow might get sacked, 3 or 4 times easily, maybe even higher. He had that issue last year with the playoffs. Baltimore can get after him, but it just takes a couple of plays for Burrow to get it deep. I mean, even against Buffalo in that, 8 minutes that he played, it looked like that was going to be a lot of yards. They weren't slowing down Chase or Higgins. So I think that as long as he can get it out quick, he'll get over the top of Baltimore. 8.5, I think, is a lot. I think that they win this comfortably, but I don't think the scoreboard will show it.
Well, yeah, that's true. It could look like that. I feel like that's the same way that their last game just went. Was, Cincinnati got out early, and Baltimore kind of climbed back to make it look like it was like a 10-point game. Although Baltimore really, I think, just didn't play that game because all they were playing for was a coin flip to play at home. It's not even like they were playing for home field advantage. They're playing for a 50% chance at a home field advantage because of the odd seeding choices they made for that. So I think Baltimore could play this game harder than they did in week 18. But I hearing what you said a little bit earlier, like if Baltimore can avoid, obviously this is easier said than done, not even just, it's almost impossible to stop. If Baltimore can avoid any big, quick plays from Cincinnati, then they can kind of I think they could actually live in this game and be around. The only issue is that if it came down to a final 2 minutes or anything like that, Cincinnati's probably just going to drive down the field and win the game if it actually ended up being close. I don't see Baltimore scoring a touchdown on a final drive or anything like that. I don't see them being dynamic enough to do anything like that. They have to get ahead and then hold it, which is just not probably just not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Jamar Chase is going to get loose. T. Higgins is going to get loose. Someone's going to get loose, and their 3-point lead, if it extended to the third quarter, would just disappear, and then Cincinnati would just put the game away. But, I mean, crazier things have been done in this situation. It's not quite the same as Buffalo, Miami. Cincinnati played a hard game against New England, who kind of shut down their offense in the second half and then almost won the game. So, I don't know. Who do you take, Baltimore or New England, in a matchup right now, even without Lamar Jackson? So there's a chance. There is a chance for Baltimore, but I don't see it happening. Cincinnati's going to take it. And we both are. I think I'll go with the spread. I think they'll cover. They'll just kind of button it up at the end, but like you said, it'll look closer than it actually was. Let's move on to the next game. And this one's Jacksonville Chargers. This is this evening. A game probably no, but it's one of the games it's definitely the most exciting game in the AFC because the other two games are probably blowouts. The Mike Williams is out, and it is a 2.5? They're 2.5 point favorites in Jacksonville.
2.5, and the over/under is at 47.5.
Ooh, I like that over/under. I like it. I like it being high. I'd like them to score. I'd like this to be kind of it would be really fun if this is a showcase of young quarterbacks throwing touchdown passes. And with Mike Williams out, that does do a little bit. You kind of weigh things out. You'd rather have Herbert than Lawrence, right? You'd rather have Herbert's weapons than Lawrence's, even with Mike Williams out. I'd rather have Peterson. I don't know exactly how to compare the defenses. Jacksonville's defense is okay, and I think they're both just okay defenses, right? I mean, I don't know exactly what their rankings are.
Yeah. So finishing up the season, pass defense, Chargers were 7th, Jacksonville was 28th. On the rush side, Chargers were 28th, and Jacksonville was 12th.
Okay, so Jacksonville what was the pass?
Pass 7th for Chargers, 28th for Jacksonville.
Okay, so Jacksonville is bad against the pass, but good against the run, or at least okay against the run.
Okay against the run.
And then the other way around. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, and hearing all that, it does just still, I mean, I understand why they're favored. It seems like the Chargers game to lose with that information, even with Mike Williams out. If Mike Williams is in, you might feel real good about the game, but with him out, it does take away a really dynamic receiver for Herbert. Outside of Peterson just really out-coaching Staley, which is a possibility, considering what Staley's done. And I'll still stick with Los Angeles, not San Diego. I'll stick with LA in this game, and I don't think they'll cover though. I think it could be. I think there's a good enough chance that Jacksonville wins that I don't want to take the points, even though it's
a little buffer. A little extra juice on that.
Yeah, Chargers could hit a field goal and win the game by 1 or 2, and Jackson, I'd still win my prediction. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that Jacksonville's a little one-dimensional. Kirk is great, but really beyond that, They have, I'm a little biased from Evans.
Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Because he did so poorly with the Giants, dropping balls when they mattered.
You're just holding a vendetta against him.
Yeah, maybe that comes out in this game. But no, I think that there's definitely more weapons for Herbert in this game. Being in Jacksonville, yeah, I mean, I guess they get a little bit of a nod for home field in that situation, but I don't really think that Jacksonville fans are really that intimidating.
Yeah, no disrespect. I don't think there's it's not exactly Green Bay or,
exactly
anything like that.
So I do take the Chargers also. I do take them to cover just because it is so tight. I am hoping that it gets close to that over under, but I think that it's going to be actually lower than that. I think both defenses kind of come out and play and limit both sides to a low scoring affair, keeping the highest score, below 30. I think it's probably like a 28-21 type of matchup somewhere in there.
Yeah, I mean, this game is it is a toss up, and it does not bode well for Jacksonville that their pass defense is the bad one and LA's pass defense is the good one. Jacksonville can obviously run the ball, and ETN is fast and dynamic, but I just don't think it's enough. I don't think you can shut down Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert. I think they'll probably just be a little too good, unless, like I said, Doug Peterson's got some magic, which we know he can, and we know Staley can make some bizarre decisions. I mean, one of them is hurting them already of playing all of his starters in a game that didn't matter. That was just odd, and then Mike Williams got hurt, and so now they're missing their second receiver. So if he makes another move like that and another bad decision, Jacksonville can totally win that game. But that's what we got. Buffalo, Cincinnati, Chargers. Are we good about that? Do you think that's going to happen, Bill? We agree?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident, at least in those first two games. Yeah. The Chargers, it is a coin flip. I'm just hoping for an exciting one. I have no skin in that, except for Evan Ingram, hoping that he loses.
Man, he's really holding this one against Evan Ingram.
I mean, they would have made the playoffs had he not dropped a ball running down the sideline. So,
yeah. So you hang on to that. So you say, you know what? Who's Jacksonville have? Like Lawrence. Well, and then I don't know how much you can like Doug Peterson. He was an Eagles coach, so
right.
So he's beating the Giants back in the day.
Tom Coughlin.
I like the Chargers over the Chiefs. And if I'm going to root against the Chiefs, I think I would root for the Chargers to win so that they can give the Chiefs a better run for their money than Jacksonville. Like, Chargers know how to match up, right? They've played them. They've already played them tough twice, including in Arrowhead. I think the Chargers, I want to root for the Chargers for that. Mainly for that reason.
Especially with the, ranked 7th this year in pass defense.
Yeah.
Matches up better against Kansas City for sure.
And then if Buffalo can make it all the way to the championship for me, and Kansas City's not there waiting for them, and it's an in Buffalo Bills Chargers. Oof, I don't know how much better that. I guess Bills Jacksonville would be better, but I don't know how much better you could get. Or Bills Baltimore without Lamar Jackson. So that's what we're picking. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you agree with us. And if you're picking Baltimore and Miami and you're right, you'd be a rich person. So throw your comments down below, and we'll see you next time.